If you have an adipose site is like a cell that holds your fat, okay? The fat is stored in there in a triglyceride molecule. A triglyceride molecule is 3 free fatty acid molecules linked together by a glycerol molecule. What happens when it comes out of that adipose site, the glycerol is cleaved or pulled off. Now you have 3 free fatty acids that go into the bloodstream and can be burned directly in your muscle as fuel. They don't have to be turned into ketones. You can burn free fatty acids directly. And then glycerol, that goes to the liver, and 3 glycerol molecules make a glucose molecule. So that provides some of the glucose that your body needs. There's like 50, 60 grams of glucose a day that your body needs to survive. There's parts of the brain, the neurons, parts of the heart that can only run on glucose, not fat or ketones. So that just burning body fat, you're producing a little glucose and a bunch of fat to fuel your whole body. And then some of that free fatty acid goes to the liver and is turned into ketones to help supply the brain and other mainly parts of the brain that can't burn fat for fuel. They can only burn ketones or glucose. So your body kind of has this all packaged up in that adipose site is everything you need to supply your body with fuel. It's pretty elegant.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. Like even at the state of zero carbohydrates, your body still finds a way to produce the necessary fuel it needs.
Yeah, it can use it from the glycerol, and it can also gluconeogenesis. It can take some protein either from the diet or from.
It's one of those scary words people use on keto, like
we do not speak his name.
If you eat too much protein, then gluconeogenesis is gonna kick you out of ketosis.
Yeah, and I address that in the misconceptions part. It's you really, for the vast majority of people, you have to eat a lot of protein to significantly affect your blood glucose levels. And excuse me, the gluconeogenesis is mainly a demand-driven process, which means if your blood glucose gets too low, it turns on to supply some more glucose to get it to where so it doesn't dip too low. That's its main purpose. If you get very high levels of protein in the diet, it will start turning some of that into glucose because there's excess. But excess to most people is, 150, 200 grams of protein in one sitting, and most people are never going to eat that much.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, gluconeogenesis is driven by demand, not supply, which means like if you will convert protein to sugar only if your body feels the need to. And for instance, if you're on a non-ketogenic diet that doesn't put you into ketosis, then every moment of caloric restriction is a moment of demand, in a sense that your body is running low on glucose and it needs to find some glucose to maintain its energy, and then it's going to convert your muscle tissue into glucose. So
especially at night, right? And you think about somebody who's a sugar burner, they eat their last meal at 7, 8 o'clock at night, and they don't eat another one till 8, 9 o'clock the next morning. Now that's 12, 13 hours where the body's got to fuel itself, and it's a sugar burner, not a, your body can't switch from primarily burning sugar to primarily burning fat quickly. That's why there's this keto adaptation phase of 4 to 6 weeks for your body to really get used to burning fat as its primary fuel. But what happens is a sugar burner at night, your body runs out of fuel, and so it's got to start, like you said, start cannibalizing lean tissues and things for turning it into glucose to make fuel. And guess what? The sheath of our bones is primarily made of it's saturated fat, but it's also protein. And so what happens is at night when you're sleeping as a sugar burner, it's using some of that protein to make glucose to fuel the body because you're running out. That is what can lead to all this osteoporosis. You get these bones that are brittle and kind of holy because they've been cannibalized for their protein.
Like these crash diets that doesn't put you into ketosis, they're like practically starvation states for your body. And people, they actually look drained, exhausted, frail, baggy eyes, those kind of things. It's quite scary to actually think about it.
Yeah, it is. And that's one of the great things about this lifestyle is that it kind of breaks you out of that cycle. So you know, one of the big reasons this lifestyle is so helpful is that it controls your hormones, and controlling those hormone levels, supplying enough cholesterol and saturated fat to have that substrate to make a lot of healthy hormones. But getting those and then balancing out your glucose, your insulin levels are balanced and fairly stable. That creates a situation in your body where those cravings go away and you don't feel that state that you just described. You actually get the opposite, because you can only store about 1,500 to 2,000 calories in glycogen in your muscle and your liver from glucose. So glucose has a fairly small storage capacity. Fat, even a lean athlete that's 10% body fat will have 20 or 30,000 calories stored in their fat storage. So this tank that we have in our fat storage is kind of endless in that respect. And so when you are able to tap that or prime that fat storage to be used as fuel, you never get those dips and lulls, and you never feel that starvation mode kind of feeling. We base almost entirely how healthy you are on your total cholesterol number, and it says little to nothing about your actual health. Go back up and look at the inputs. Go look at the source and see what is messing up the system and causing these bad outputs. If you've already got a lot of body fat on your body is high fat. It's not just a failure, it's actually corruption, in that the sugar industry paid all these scientists to generate studies in the 70s that pointed the finger at fat as the enemy for heart disease when they knew it was sugar.